Welcome back, everyone. Today's lesson is about how to use adjectives within your sentences. This session is very important because by adding adjectives and adverbs, your sentences would be intensified and modified. So the meaning of your sentences could be stronger or weaker by the correct style of using adjectives and adverbs. The basic rule of using adjectives is basically you need to use the adjectives before as a noun, as one word before a noun. So by modifying, you use the adjectives to make the meaning of the nouns within your sentences stronger. I give you a very simple example. I ate a meal, and meal is a noun, obviously. And then the reader doesn't know what kind of meal you're eating. So obviously, if I say I ate an enormous meal, then the meaning is clear. In this sentence, basically, enormous is considered as an adjective. It is very important to use the proper adjectives. My suggestion is either to use a good dictionary. Oxford Advanced Learner Dictionary could be the best one. Google Dictionary is also a preferable one among professionals and students at universities and colleges. But make sure to make the meaning of your sentences more interesting and clarify, to have the concise meaning coming through and getting the message across. Try to use appropriate adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives basically clarify the noun. That you ask yourself a question, what kind, or which, or how many. If I say, for example, a girl, you say, what kind of a girl? And then you say the tall girl. So tall in this sentence is an adjective that is modifying or focusing and emphasizing on the meaning of the girl. Tall tells the reader what kind of girl or which girl I'm talking about, or the author is talking about. The next sentence, if you pay attention, you can pause the video anytime that you would like. You can share these videos with your friends as well. Our old van needs to be replaced soon. Old tells the reader what kind of. So those few questions of what kind, which, and how many, they appear in the answer of the adjectives that you need to use to intensify the meaning of your sentences. In terms of what kind, for example, if I say the tough professor, and then I ask you what kind of professor, you say the tough professor. What kind of could be a good question for this element. The next question is how many. For example, in this sentence, if I say 15 students passed the midterm exam, 12 students passed the final exam, I'm giving you a ratio by providing numbers. By the way, numbers are considered adjectives within the sentences structures. If you ask, for example, how many students passed the final, you simply say 12. 12 is an adjective which appears after, before, or preceding the noun students. Very much the same as 15 is a noun, is an adjective that is appearing before the noun students to intensify the meaning. Remember one important note. Adjectives cannot modify verbs. In this case, we need another part of a speech. We call it adverbs. Adverbs define adjectives, define verbs, and also define another adverbs. Very interesting if you want to practice, if you pay attention to the next few sentences. If I say she ate her lunch quick, that sentence is not correct because I am defining the way, the verb. I'm saying what kind of a way to eat her lunch. I should use an adverb because adverbs define a verb, not adjective. So this sentence is incorrect. Instead, I should say quickly. So if you ask yourself, how did she eat? The correct answer would be quickly. More examples on that end. If I say she ate the quick lunch, in this case, quick modifies the noun lunch. What kind of lunch? And then you say quick lunch because quick is before the lunch and quick is an adjective, very much as the first lesson in this series of videos. Generally, adjectives, they answer the questions of which, what kind of, and how many, as we discussed earlier. Some other rules of the adjectives. So most of the time, adjectives, they come before the nouns, but there are some specific adjectives that they come after the nouns to modify. An adjective follows a sense verb. Sense verbs are related to your senses, hearing, listening, tasting, and so on. So those verbs, the verb of the appearance, it modifies the noun before the verbs. The adjectives will often follow a verb from the following. These are the sense verbs, your 5 senses: be, feel, taste, smell, sound, look, appear, and seem. So if I say, how is she? You can say she's good, for example. How does she feel? She feels excellent. You can use adjectives. If I say, going back to the question, those questions that we discussed, you can say what kind of, how many, and which. And then after these verbs, we use the adjectives. If I say Brian seems sad, sad is an adjective that appears right after the sense verbs. Pay attention to the verbs and pay attention to the order of the words. If you do not use adjectives and adverbs in your sentences would be dull and the meaning doesn't come across properly. More examples to be given to clarify the usage of the adjectives. If I say the milk smells rotten, I am having one of those sense verbs, smells, and rotten is the adjective. What kind of smell? Rotten. The speaker sounds hoarse, for example. Hoarse answers the question, which way does the speaker sound? Sound is a sense verb and hoarse is an adjective. The ice cream looks melted. Melted is an adjective, is a past participle adjective. And if I say, what kind of ice cream? You can say melted ice cream. Pay attention to the order of the adjectives and adverbs. Without adjectives and adverbs, the good modification and the intensity of the meaning of your sentences would not come across properly. Use them correctly in the proper spots or the steps in your sentences. If I say, for example, Alex feels sleepy, feels is a sense verb, and then we have sleepy as an adjective right after that. And if I ask you what kind of way does Alex feel, you quickly respond as sleepy. So very much the same as the adjectives. Adjectives always follow a verb be, for example, and then we have am, is, are, was, where be, being, been as the past form or the past participle form. If I say, for example, black is an adjective, colors are considered as an adjective, the dog is black. And then in this case, very much the same as numbers that are always considered as an adjective, colors are always considered as an adjective. What kind of dog? You say a black. If I say, for example, I was nervous, nervous modifies the noun. It appears after the verb be. It is considered as an adjective. So which way? You say nervous. She's been sick all week. So if I say which way has she been feeling? You say sick, appear right after the verb be, obviously is an adjective. More example on that end before we move to adverbs. They try to be helpful. In this case, helpful itself, it modifies the noun. But it appears after the verb be. So these are the correct orders of adjectives. Now we're going to move to adverbs, how to use them, how to correctly organize them within your sentences. Once again, adverbs define another adverb, adjectives, or verbs. So remember this. Adverbs usually they appear in the answer of the question how. If I say she sang beautifully and then I ask you how did she sing, you quickly answer beautifully and is defining the verb sang. If I say the cellist, for example, played carelessly, carelessly is defining the way that the cellist played the cello. If I say how the cellist play, you quickly respond as carelessly. In the second round, adverbs modify adjectives or another adverbs. If I say the woman is extremely nice, Extremely is an adverb which appears after the verb be is, and then nice appear right after the adverb. This is the correct organization within your sentences. You put them first, the adverbs, preceding the adjective, and then the adjectives. So nice is an adjective and extremely is an adverb. It is very important to use them correctly and properly. Most sentences that might happen as an error in the test taking or the professional settings are just because of lack of clarity of the terms and the proper organization within the remarks. If I say it was terribly hot afternoon, I am defining an afternoon, which is a noun. Hot is an adjective appeared before the noun, preceding a noun. And then of course the adverb is defining hot, terribly hot, defining afternoon. Together, this clarifies what kind of afternoon you're explaining and talking about. This is what I mean when I say intensifying the meaning, modifying the meaning in the answer of how hot, for example, it is. Adverbs also answer the question how, and then they can also answer the question when, where, and why. This is pretty interesting. If I say she arrived late, late describes when. This is an adverb. They all went there for the party. There is where they all went to the party. And more example, the swim team practices every morning to develop good habits. So to develop good habits, act as an adverbial infinitive. It starts with the verb to, but it is working as an adverb. Because if I ask you why the swim team practices every morning, you can answer why. Adverbs cannot modify nouns. Very much the same as adjectives that they cannot modify the verbs. Adverbs modify the verbs, adjectives and another adverbs, but adjectives only modifies the noun. Remember that. You can pause the video, you can review the video and share them with your friends who are in need of improving their skills. If I give you a sentence, for example, he's quietly man, this sentence is incorrect. However, I should say, because a man is a noun, I should say a quiet man. I have a happily dog. This is an incorrect remark. I should say a happy dog. So very important to know what kind of questions you answer in order to have an adjective or adverb. Adverbs, they appear in the answer of the questions how, when, where, and why. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Till the next video, make sure you watch the video at the end of this video and comment in the comment box below.